I'm not affiliated with any organisation as such. I'm just an individual who organised this protest. And
this is grossly unfair, it's grossly unjust. It's important to raise awareness, obviously not only of the contribution that the Windrush generation have made to the rebuilding of this country, but also of the fact that the government's policies do have a very real impact on people. And you know, some of the stories that have come through the news have really given a human face.
The first British ships arrived in the Caribbean in 1623, and despite slavery, despite colonisation, 25,000 Caribbeans served in the First World War and Second World War alongside British troops. When my parents and their generation arrived in this country under the Nationality Act of 1948, they arrived here as British citizens. It is inhumane and cruel for so many of that Windrush generation to have suffered so long in this condition, and for the Secretary of State only to have made a statement today on this issue. Can she explain how many have been deported? She suggested earlier that she would ask the High Commissioners. It is her department that has deported them. She should know the number.
Now, may I ask you your name?
Lord Kitchener.
Lord Kitchener. Now, I'm told that you are really the king of calypso singers, is that right?
Yes, that's
well, now, will you sing for us?
Right now.
Yes.
London is the place for me. London, this lovely city. You can go to France or America, India, Asia or Australia, but you must come back to London City. Well, believe me, I am speaking broad-mindedly. I am glad to know my mother country. I've been traveling the countries years ago, but this is the place I wanted to know, darling, London. This is the place for me.
Hi, everybody. So welcome to Heritage Talks With as we celebrate Windrush Day 72. So my name is Antoinette Page and my co-host today is Shakira Richards. So Heritage Talks With is actually a web series which has developed from our overarching company, which is actually Heritage Consultancy Network. It's a community-based business. So we're here to work with the community. We're here to promote our culture. We're also here to share learnings. We're here to ensure you guys can learn more about our rich history, learn about our roots, and more importantly, learn about those traditions that, as we know across the time, are being lost because our elders are now sadly passing away, but they're not passing on many of those cultural, folk stories, tales, best practices, and more importantly, how they've survived coming here, having been many of the Windrush generation. And in synergy to that, I believe Miss Caribbean UK as a pageant holds a lot of synergies with my own passion and my organisation's mission, because Miss Caribbean, born of Jackie and Clayton Brown, they are positively promoting the Caribbean. All right, so it sits very, very, core and part of what I do, and the people I want to ensure have access, right, to the culture.
Hey everyone, my name's Shakira. I'm a dancer. I recently finished uni, and I'm here because in 2018 I took part in Miss Caribbean UK, and it was my first pageant. I did it because I wanted to promote myself and also to boost my confidence. And honestly, I feel like Miss Caribbean UK is generally, I feel like it's my pageant home, and it definitely feels like a family. So I think you'll really enjoy your time here, Miss Caribbean UK, and I hope you do. Make the most out of it, I would say. Make the most out of it.
does celebrating Windrush Day mean for you?
Celebrating Windrush Day for me represents public recognition of the undeniable impact that the Caribbean community, from the Windrush generation and beyond, we have had in England. Full stop. We have come to this country and we were promised that there'll be streets paved with gold, and we all know what England is like. There's no gold streets here. And yet they came along and they contributed, and they were resilient, and they persisted, built communities, and contributed heavily to our culture. And I don't think that can be ignored. And I believe Windrush Day is the day that we as a nation get to celebrate, have our thanks, and enjoy the fruits of the labor of our ancestors or previous generations.
So Windrush Day means family and community for me, because my grandparents are all from different islands, and without them having the opportunity to board the HMT Windrush and come to the UK, there's a big chance they never would have met. And I feel that that's an amazing thing, that by enabling people from different islands to come, it just produced a new community of Caribbean people that would never maybe have encountered each other before. Thank you.
So what Windrush does mean to me is obviously a whole wide range of opportunities for us Caribbean people, and obviously our ancestors as well. But also it was a time of struggle for them as well, because a lot of the jobs that they came to the UK to do were classed as jobs that maybe the white privileged people may not have wanted to do. But it just showed the drive that we had as people to work hard and do better for ourselves, despite what type of job it is. So I do believe it should be celebrated thoroughly, and because of all the hard work that they did back then.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Celebrating Windrush Day means for me that we've accomplished a lot in this country, because I can now look at it and say my family members and friends from the Caribbean can now actually live, work, and have a freedom of speech in this country. And this is due to the labour and contribution that our ancestors have had. Thank you.
Celebrating Windrush Day to me is celebrating culture and hardworking people, because we came over here after World War II and helped to rebuild the country. So celebrating a country that we have put a lot of hard work into. So that's what celebrating Windrush Day means to me. Thank you.
To me, celebrating Windrush Day is about reflecting on how far we've come, as I know that when they did come over from Jamaica to the UK, they had to create their own settlements and areas, and such things as finding food to eat that they were used to and that would actually nourish them was very difficult. So I know that community is a very big thing that should be celebrated during the Windrush Day. And the strength and resilience that we showed as a people can also be used to fuel us to do more for our own communities nowadays. Thank you.
The point of the day is to symbolise the contributions that they've made to transforming British life after the World War. And along with that, they try to create a better life for themselves and their families. And to be faced with such difficulties, racism, discrimination, while helping to rebuild this country, I think is amazing, and I think it should be honoured.
Yeah.
So that's what it means to me.
Celebrating Windrush means, well, for me it's very important, because my granddad was actually one of the first people who came here, and it's enabled not just me and my family, but people from other nations to come over here and to actually have new opportunities. So I believe that, to be honest, I feel that because our grandparents, our ancestors have come to England, it's enabled other people to feel that they can come here and make it as well. So I think it's very important that not just us as Black people, but the whole country comes together and celebrates Windrush.
Yep, definitely. I think for me, celebrating Windrush Day, it encapsulates all of what you ladies have shared. Similar to you all, my grandparents came. My grandmother came first, so she came before my grandfather, and as many of you have said, settled into communities, made sure that, her communities from abroad came. She was quite a trailblazer, so she ensured that she set up different activities within the community. She was quite a well-known pillar in our local community of Brixton. So to now see her grandchildren and even great-grandchildren being able to have opportunities that she was striving for, I think is a great achievement for us. But on the flip side, I think we mustn't also forget those that have struggled, those that have been deported incorrectly due to, again, coming over under the premise that they are from British, colony. So I think for me, it's a push and pull celebrating Windrush Day, but definitely one we should keep and one that we should continue to push so that it is a positive day and we can get, the compensation needed for those that, are due to be compensated for the wrongs.